Greetings, gentle viewers, and welcome to the Rewatcher's Diary. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift! Here's to turning 32. For the rest of y'all, this video is gonna pick a Taylor Swift album for each Enneagram type, going in order of when the albums were released. In the case of Fearless and Red, though, I'm grouping the originals with the real releases. You'll see what I mean. To start things off with Taylor Swift's self-titled debut album, which I think fits the Enneagram Type 9. Type 9s like people who can remember little things and big vulnerable things. I got this information from Abby Howe's video on advice for Type 9s in a romantic relationship, which I will link to in the description below. Taylor Swift's debut album shows a lot of nostalgic memories. It has this overall vibe of being comforting, reminiscing on past loves, and being part of a community, which are all things that I think a Type 9 cherishes. Our song shows an instance of a lover who goes out of their way to acknowledge just what a Type 9 needs on a bad day. And Mary's song talks about a love that just gets stronger with time, which I feel like are things that Type 9s like in a romantic relationship. On the other hand, you have songs like Invisible and Teardrops on My Guitar, which speak to the Type 9's tendency to not voice their own needs. In Invisible, you have this unwilling wallflower, and in Teardrops on My Guitar, the person who's singing wants what they can't have and keeps that love a secret from everyone else. Moving on to Fearless, which I think fits the Enneagram Type 2. Type 2s desire to be loved, and most Type 2s show their love through acts of service, where they go out of their way to show how much they love someone in hopes of getting love in return. All the songs in Fearless are centered on needing someone and the desire to be needed. Think about that line of "back when I deserved it" in the vault song "We Were Happy" in the Taylor's version Fearless re-release. Type 2s want to be reassured that their partner will always be there for them. But when that relationship goes wrong, the anger they feel can be expressed in songs like Mr. Perfectly Fine or Don't You Tell Me Why, Forever and Always, even White Horse. Now let's get to the third album, Speak Now, which I am giving to the Type 6s out there. Type 6s are called the loyalists, and when it comes to love, trust and commitment are their top priorities. Speak Now songs all talk about love that's earned through shared experiences. Songs like Mine and Ours speak about relationships with the lover who's reliable and love that has earned a Type 6's devotion. Type 6s also deal with fear and anxiety, and boy is Speak Now full of songs that speak to anxieties in relationships, such as Haunted and The Story of Us. At the same time, songs like Mean and Better Than Revenge speak to the counterphobic side of a Type 6. Time to talk about Red and Type 4s. This is your moment. Red centers on a full emotional experience from beginning to end. So of course it's the perfect album for a Type 4. There are so many highs and lows for an Enneagram 4 to experience. And given that I'm an Enneagram 4, it's no surprise that Red is one of my personal favorite albums. Enneagram 4s are called the romantic, and this album covers all aspects of having a passionate, romantic, tumultuous, treacherous relationship, as well as just feeling all of the things. How many Enneagram 4s can relate to being happy, free, confused, and lonely at the same time? I sure can. 1989 is, I think, the most glamorous, metropolitan, cosmopolitan album, and so it is the perfect fit for an Enneagram Type 3. I mean, style basically captures the kind of love a Type 3 would want, a love that never goes out of style. And Type 3s tend to be one of those types that get very good vibes only, so of course they would love a song like Shake It Off. I also think that the music videos for this particular era all have a very Type 3 feel to them because they were all big productions with a very trendy editorial vibe, like they came out of a fashion magazine, which is incidentally, one of the lines in Blank Space. I could read you like a magazine. Reputation is one of those albums that Swifties either love or hate. And for me personally, I get what critics mean when they say that this album is the least cohesive of Taylor Swift's discography. But at the same time, no album can capture a Type 8's boldness as well as this album. It also covers a Type 8's aggressiveness. This album is basically all about revenge. I'm pretty sure that Type 8s can actually recount every grudge they ever held, and they can pretty much pick a song in this album that fits this whole like revenge fantasy that they have. At the same time, songs like Delicate and New Year's Day speak to the Type 8's fear of being vulnerable, and when it comes to love, they need someone that they can actually feel vulnerable with. Moving on to Lover. Lover reflects Taylor's desire to put a more positive spin on life, which is basically a Type 7's brand, as they are called the Optimists. The music videos of the Lover era also have a very Type 7 aesthetic with lots of bright colors. The overall vibe of this album is freedom and spontaneity, while also showing glimpses of Type 7's avoidance of fear. I think Cruel Summer is the best example of that. When it comes to love, Type 7s want someone who is willing to go along for the ride with them. So, Type 7s, if you want a wedding song, this album has some options for you. Would you rather dance to Lover or Paper Rings? Comment in the comment section below. Moving on to Folklore. If there is a word that I can use to describe Folklore, it's contemplative, which is a very Enneagram Type 5 vibe to me. Folklore is a lot more introverted than the previous two albums, especially when you consider the Long Pond sessions. Type 5s love to dive deep into learning something interesting, so a song like The Last Great American Dynasty might speak to a Type 5's love for obscure history. In Cardigan, there's the lyric of, "When you are young, they assume you know nothing," but the narrator of the song already anticipates what's to come, which I think reflects a Type 5's particular wisdom, where you kind of understand what's going on and you're trying to analyze a situation and you know what's coming, but you're gonna live for that experience anyway. So, last but not least, I know you were waiting for this one. Type 1s, your album is Evermore. All the songs in Evermore appeal to a lot of things that I think a Type 1 can relate to. There are a lot of songs that talk about conflicting responsibilities, like "'Tis the Damn Season" and "Champagne Problems," and Type 1s usually feel this like conflict of duty if they don't have that particular level of development that other Type 1s do. There's usually a theme of people judging and criticizing, like in songs like "Tolerate It" and "Long Story Short." Type 1s long to be good, which I feel is best shown in the song "Gold Rush," calling someone out on their contrarian wit and also being responsible enough not to act on the desire to pursue a foolish relationship. It's a very Type 1 thing. If you're wondering what I'm going to do for my next Vlogmas video, there's another birthday coming up this week, Jane Austen's birthday. And since I'm a huge Jane Austen fan, I decided that I'll make a video where I dive deep into the Enneagram types of various characters from Jane Austen. I honestly don't know if I'll have time to cover all 6 books, but at the very least, I'm going to start with Pride and Prejudice, which will be my video for this coming Friday. So like this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring that notification bell if you're a fan of Pride and Prejudice, and you'll get to see that video as soon as I post it. Thank you for watching.